5 Best Motherboards for PC in 2022. If you are looking for the best motherboards for PC, then you are at right place there. Watch this video till end and subscribe to the channel. We have also put links of products in the description. Make sure you have viewed it once. Let's start the video. Number 1. Gigabyte 680 Aorus Pro. It was almost inevitable that the top-end chipset for Intel's next-gen Alder Lake CPU would end up being super expensive. That is compounded by the premium attached to anything which mentions DDR5. Even so, the Gigabyte 680 Aorus Pro almost bucks the trend by offering a rounded feature set along with DDR5 support for around $330. Sure, in the last CPU generation $300 plus was seen as high-end, but for the 12th gen platform that's positively mid-range. There are cheaper DDR4 boards around. Gigabyte also makes an Aorus Pro in DDR4 flavor, too, though that's not sold in the US or EU. But if you want to get the absolute most out of the new Intel platform, you want DDR5. Gigabyte has been smart about the way it specced up the Aorus Pro, by limiting it to just Wi-Fi 6 wireless, as opposed to Wi-Fi 6E and 2.5G Intel wired networking connections, and eschewing such unnecessary luxuries as Thunderbolt 4 or another M.2 slot. It has managed to keep the price at least relatively sensible, and it's a great performer, too, delivering system and gaming performance easily on par with the far more expensive boards we've also tested. The BIOS is maturing regularly as well, which makes us completely confident in recommending the Gigabyte board as our pick of the 680 bunch. About the only downside with this option is the high contrast design, with lots of gray heatsinks. Though a lot of the gray chipset and M.2 cooling will be hidden beneath the GPU, it might not be the easiest board to blend in with your build. There's also minimal RGB lighting with just a tiny Aorus logo atop the rear S/O heatsink. That's rare for a gaming motherboard in 2022. There are 4 RGB headers, though, with 2 of them being addressable, so you can still add plenty of flashy illumination if you really want. Number 2. ASRock 690 Taichi. When ASRock first launched its Taichi brand, we were impressed with its less is more design approach. It offered a good feature set and value for money without the excessive RGB overload that was common to gaming boards a few years ago. The brand has now evolved into a genuinely high-end one. The yet-to-be-seen Aqua is the company's top model, but with its expected limited edition nature and likely stratospheric price, the Taichi will essentially be ASRock's premium 690 motherboard for us mortals. And that's not a bad place to be. The look of the board is definitely unique, and though looks are in the eye of the beholder, for me the cyberpunk theme, with its copper accents and cogs, looks great. You get a good splash of RGB and those cogs above the S/O actually move. It looks expensive. Plus, if you're a fan of Razer products, then there's a Razer-themed 690 Taichi for easy integration into the Chroma ecosystem, too. Notably, the Taichi did well at gaming tests, often leading the pack. Though 1 FPS here or there isn't significant, but hey, it's better to lead than trail. The board was happy to run DDR5 6400 memory, something not all 680s could do. This indicates a strong level of maturity, though as is often the case with a brand new platform and standard, there is surely some refinement to come. The ASRock 690 Taichi looks every inch a premium product. Its unique aesthetic will appeal to many. Its key features including dual Thunderbolt 4 ports, a solid audio solution, and strong early memory support weigh in its favor. At $590 it's an expensive motherboard, though not unheard of for this platform. The Asus Maximus Hero and Aorus. Number 3. MSI MAGB 660M Mortar Wi-Fi DDR4. As a slightly more affordable Alder Lake option than some of the 690 boards out there, this MSI MAGB 660M Mortar Wi-Fi DDR4 sacrifices some of the luxuries, yet still touts an impressive feature set. Not only are we looking at great power design, but this little micro ATX board manages to fit 8 USB ports on the back panel, including 1 USB 3.2 Gen Type-C and a bunch of internal headers on the board itself. There's no overclocking capability or DDR5 support here, but seeing as it's one of the more affordable routes into the Alder Lake platform, it makes sense to go down the DDR4 path. There is a DDR5 version available in the UK, but we've not been able to find it in the US. One obvious thing missing from the feature list is the support for PCIe 5.0 graphics cards. Although seen as no such cards currently exist, that's not the miss that you might think. Everything else is present and correct though, including a reinforced X16 PCIe 4.0 slot for the GPU, another full-length slot running at X4, and then a final, short-zone PCIe 3.0 slot. The fact you get a pair of PCIe 4.0 M2 slots for your drives will be plenty for most users too. Number 4. MSI MAG B660 Tomahawk Wi-Fi DDR4. Plenty of 690 competition at this price. No PCIe 5.0 support. Despite its lack of DDR5 support, the MSI MAG B660 Tomahawk Wi-Fi DDR4 is a worthy contender for the budget Alder Lake builders among us. You're still looking at strong VRM, so the maximum turbo load of a 12,000 pin shouldn't be an issue for it, and you still get a ton of I/O ports for your money. This evolution has taken a genuine step forward since the introduction of the last Gen B560 motherboards and is certainly worth considering if you're looking to save on your 12th Gen build. The design is black and RGB less, so it will easily blend into most systems. But there are 4 RGB headers, including 2 that are addressable, in case you are looking to keep up effervescent appearances. There's sadly no overclocking capability with the MAG B660 Tomahawk, but it's a far more affordable option, particularly when compared with some 690 options. Sure, it's lacking a little in the M2 space, but 3 slots will cover most of us plebeians not looking to store mountains of 4K video or every game in their Steam library simultaneously. The Tomahawk comes with 3 PCIe slots. The primary slot is an X16 slot that supports PCIe 4.0. The second is an X16 slot, X4 electrical that supports a PCIe 3.0, and finally, there's a PCIe 3.0 zone slot. PCIe 5.0 support for the primary slot would have been nice, though that's not likely to deliver any tangible benefit for GPU for the foreseeable future. Number 5. Asus TUF Gaming Z590 Plus Wi-Fi. This is a gaming motherboard positioned as an entry-level option for anyone looking to run Rocket Lake. Asus has always positioned its TUF products as reliable options with decent pricing and a more basic feature set. Combined, it means this is a good affordable option for someone after a no-fuss, solid, and reliable system. And given the pricing of many Z590 motherboards, that makes for a welcome change. The TUF Z590 Plus features a subtle design with a particularly nice white font. You get a couple of little splashes of RGB around the right side too. It's a nice look. There are 3 M2 slots with the topmost one supporting PCIe 4.0. The 2 at the bottom are contained under a single heatsink. Also, note the vertical SATA ports that sticklers for cable management might find objectionable. There are a further 2 regular horizontal ports adjacent to the heatsink. You get 6 fan headers and 2 addressable RGB headers too. This is a board for anyone who would prefer to allocate money towards a faster GPU or larger SSD instead of paying through the nose for 10 GB LAN or expensive add-in cards. And I can totally get on board with that. Bang for buck and the true essentials are the name of the game here. If you're on a budget, it's definitely one to look out for. That was all from Creative Picks about best motherboards for PC in this video. The links of products are given in the description, which are updated for best prices. We will meet in next video. Till then, be careful and goodbye.